Right, bear with me 1 second. I'm just firing up this stream on my phone so that any viewers can ask me any questions about it. Hi, I'm Stu3D, and in today's stream we're going to be looking at the HP Omen 15 2017 edition with the GTX 1050. Looking at it 1 month on, what I like, what I don't like, and my general thoughts and opinions on it. So, without further ado, let's get this stream started. I'm going to fire up the stream on my phone so that if any of my viewers are watching this live, they can ask me any questions they want about the laptop, and I will try my best to answer it. Where do I start? It's a month on. The reason I'm obviously doing this is because most reviews you'll see will be a laptop given to a reviewer. They've got a bog standard set of tests they will do, and they'll go, yeah, I like it, or don't. And they don't tend to sort of live with it for a bit. They have so many laptops, and yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. They have. And yeah, there's no sort of real living with it. And what I'm going to try and do here is to just explain to you how it's been like living with it. And to answer that, it's actually been very good. It's been very good laptop to have, actually. Really glad that I got this one. Who would I say this laptop was for? Well, if you want a no-holds-barred, totally maxed out 1080p ultra 60 frames a second laptop, look elsewhere. If you want no compromises on the gaming side of it, you need to look elsewhere. You're not going to get that here. What this laptop is, it's a perfect budget gaming laptop. If you're happy to turn a few settings down, a few of the bells and whistles off to get a decent playable experience, this thing will not let you down at all. It is, for the money, it is a very good laptop. As I said, you're not going to get 1080p ultra 60 frames a second on every game. There are some games where you have to turn some of the settings down, such as on the new Doom, I played that at 900p, and same with Grand Theft Auto 5, I also played that at 900p. But otherwise, yeah, for a basic gaming laptop, it's very good. You're going to get at least PS4 or Xbox One sort of level of performance out of games, at least. And, in most cases, you're going to get a lot more. Depends on how well optimized the game actually is. That said, I really like this laptop. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. There are a couple of things that living with it, have not been great. First is the trackpad. I did explain that in my previous review that it's felt spongy. Don't get me wrong, it's not an awful trackpad. It is a decent trackpad. The multi-touch works lovely. 3-finger swipe, minimize Windows, swipe up. It does other stuff. I don't really do many gestures on it. The main gestures I do are pinch to zoom and 2-finger scroll, and it does that perfectly. I don't use tap to click. I've never have. Didn't get on with it. Always kept false triggering it, and everything else. So I kind of ignore. I turned that off, but I use the old click to obviously as a click, and that is where it's not. I wouldn't say it's awful, but it's very spongy, and if you're doing a lot of click heavy stuff, you will start to feel that your fingers are getting tired. I've come from a MacBook Pro 2012, which, let's face it, Apple trackpads are arguably the best in the business. And the trackpad on the Mac is lovely, direct click, 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 really quick, snappy, lovely click. On this, I would say the push down mechanism for the whole trackpad goes down about 3 to 4 times further than Mac. Mac's just a nice little click, whereas this one has a lot more travel. And I think that is just what is obviously causing it to tire your fingers out when you're using it a lot. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold. But and that said, it is not terrible. I do wish the mouse pointer was a bit faster because I'm pretty lazy when I'm using a trackpad. But again, not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. And the other downside with this laptop is I don't know if you've seen my other videos, but when I first got it, I kept getting blue screen of deaths, driver power state failure, and it happened whenever I unplugged or plugged in the laptop whilst it was booted up and being used. That I've had a look around, uninstalled, reinstalled various drivers, couldn't get it to work, and in the end, I completely reinstalled Windows. Now, I got a vanilla copy of Windows direct from Microsoft, and then just let HP do the updates of what it needed to do, and yeah, it has never done the blue screen of death since. It's been absolutely perfect. That said, should I have had to do a brand new install of Windows on a brand new computer? No. But for an hour or so of my time, it wasn't it wasn't a hassle. And to be honest with you, I've now got a clean vanilla copy of Windows, exactly how Microsoft intended it to be, without any secret hidden HP manufacturer tweaks and things in the background. So, you know, arguably it's for the best. That said, though, if you are if you're a bit unsure about installing Windows, you're a bit of you're sort of a bit of a tech newbie, and you don't really know how to install Windows, it might be a bit daunting. That said, there's probably been thousands of these shipped, and you know there might just be mine with a dodgy driver. There has been a couple of people on my other video who have said yes, they've had the same thing, and it's been fixed by reinstalling Windows. To be honest with you, Microsoft have made it so much easier to install Windows nowadays. It's not going to be too much of a problem, and I explained how to do it in my previous video. Literally, if I was buying this laptop straight away, I would fire it up, use the help and support assistant down the bottom corner to register your warranty, and then follow the steps I did in my other video, download the Microsoft Media Creation tool, and just completely nuke and reinstall Windows. And then reinstall the HP help and support app to reinstall the drivers that Microsoft don't install by default. That would be what I would do straight away. That said, obviously, it's not ideal. You shouldn't have to install Windows the minute you buy the damn thing. But would that stop me recommending the laptop to anyone? And the answer is no. It's a very good laptop, and I would hate for a dodgy driver, which by the time this video goes out, HP might have fixed it. I won't know because I don't. Obviously, I've got rid of it. But would it stop me recommending the laptop? No. It's a very good laptop for the money, and yeah, it's annoying, but it's fixable. And at the end of the day, it's a software glitch that's been fixed. So yeah, in general, that's basically it. General day-to-day use as a laptop, non-gaming, is actually really good. It's not overly heavy, and it doesn't feel overly big and cumbersome. I quite often sit knees up like that, laptop on me, between my big fat gut and my knees, typing away, and that's how I do my web browsing and my YouTube and everything else. And it's comfortable, and it doesn't get too hot at all either, which is absolutely brilliant. The old MacBook, if I was doing stuff like that where it was metal, it used to heat up quite a bit and feel, you know, pretty uncomfortable sometimes. And to be honest with you, now after having this after having this 15.6-inch laptop, I have to admit, going back to my old 13-inch MacBook Pro, it feels small. So yeah, I've got used to the size of it, and actually, as a laptop, it's a very good laptop. It is brilliant as a laptop. I mean, you could go absolute powerhouse if you wanted no compromise gaming. You'd then have to get a big 17-inch beast, which, let's face it, is going to be useless as a laptop. This laptop is the ideal compromise between gaming performance and actual being able to use it as a laptop. Battery on it is pretty decent. I've run it on battery and I could get a good few hours out of it. And even full brightness gaming with Grand Theft Auto using NVIDIA recommended settings, full brightness, and live streaming to YouTube at the same time, I still managed to get an hour and 15 minutes out of it at full load. So that's a pretty impressive, to be honest with you. The screen, oddly enough, people keep asking about the screen, and I did say before it was dull. It's not the brightest screen in the world, and the colours were a bit dull. But I don't know what Microsoft have done, because I've now got the Creators Update beta on, which is due to be released to the general public next month. And for some reason, somehow, the colours look better now. I don't know what the hell Microsoft have done, what wizardry they've done in the background. They've obviously done something, but the colours just look slightly better. Reds are more distinct, more vibrant. And when I play Mario Kart Wii on the Dolphin emulator, Yoshi before used to look like a metallic yellowy green colour. Now he looks more green. And so they've obviously done something to tweak the colours in the whole Creators Update. And even more so, the colours look better when the night shift mode is turned on. It's great. So, this update coming out is going to make the screen a lot better. That said, the screen wasn't terrible in the first place. It's lovely, clear. I have everything scaled down to 100% at 1080p, so the text is really small. But I like it small. I like to have more on the screen. And to be honest with you, the text is crystal clear. I'm not straining my eyes. I'm able to read all the stuff that's on the screen at the moment. No problems at all. So, yeah, good thumbs up there. Wi-Fi performance is generally very good. I get decent full coverage on 5 gigahertz all around my house. It's a 2x2 802.11ac Wi-Fi card in this. It's the Intel 7265. And basically, yeah, it's decent. 866.7. And I can read write to my MyCloud drive. I have had it read write as quick as 60 megabytes per second, almost as quick as if I plugged the damn thing into the machine, into the computer via the USB port. So it's rather impressive. To be honest, with the hard drives, the internal hard drives, there we go. That's what we're looking at. That one is the internal SSD, which is SATA interface. And then you've got the 7200 spin hard drive, which is obviously also SATA. Bear with me a second. Oh, excellent. Hello, Will MTB. I'm glad you'll be. Oh yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's a good laptop, especially for the money. You know, you're not gonna get a better laptop for the money that you're basically paid for that. I paid $799 for mine because the place I got it from had a bit of a pricing glitch. But even at the full 829 HP asks for it, you can't get a better laptop, I think. But yeah, as I said, there's you go. There's your read writes. I do believe that the internal SSD, it is an M.2. I do believe that can be upgraded to a NVMe drive, which will give you read writes into the gigabits a second, because I believe the American configurations of this laptop tend to have slightly better parts in it. So I believe one of the reviewers of the American ones his had an NVMe drive, and it was twice as quick as mine, if not 3 times as quick. So to be honest with you, though, unless you're going to transfer a huge amount of files to it, you're never going to notice it. You're not going to say it's a slow drive. I mean, this thing boots up so quick. I tried to get in the BIOS once just to have a poke around and have a look, and it boots up so quick, it's really difficult to get into the BIOS. This thing is lovely and quick. It'll restart quick, it'll boot quick, it'll fire up most of your apps quick, and yeah, generally, really decent. The other thing, people do ask me about the VRAM, 2 gig of VRAM. Now that was a little bit of a worry going forward. However, to be honest with you, there is something this graphics card does which is quite interesting. Bear with me while the NVIDIA control panel loads. But if I go to system information, have a look at this. It's got 2048 megabyte GDDR5 dedicated, but if you look, 6086 megabytes of total available graphics memory. Now, I have noticed in some games, and I can name you, Grand Theft Auto 5, I actually run this graphics card over the VRAM limit. So GTA 5 will say, well, you've only got 2048, but you're using 2288, and it has no problems at all. And I believe it's because it has this 4038 megabytes of total available graphics memory. Now, when I had GPU-Z up, the sensors, when I play Grand Theft Auto, you'll see the memory usage dedicated go up to around about 1900 megabytes, and then the dynamic memory to be around about 100 megabytes. So keeping in line with what the Grand Theft Auto game actually says it is. Forza Horizon 3. Now, that's a game a lot of people have said, has problems with on 2 gigabyte cards. Now, Forza Horizon 3, when I played the demo of that, the memory usage dedicated would flood all the way up to 2 gig, pretty much. And also the dynamic memory usage would also go up to like 2 gig as well. So on a system with only 8 gig of RAM, if 2 gigs being used as well as for your graphics card, as well as then your system RAM, I think that is why I was running into low memory issues. Well, it wasn't even an issue. The game would play smooth. You get that little warning pop up every now and again. But it does make me wonder if I were to shove a full 16 gigabytes of RAM into this machine, which would then theoretically should unlock more RAM for the graphics card. So theoretically, if I shove 16 into it, it should make things like Forza and everything run a hell of a lot smoother. So yeah, at the moment I'm rocking the 8. It's 2 times 4 gigabyte 2400 megahertz sticks dual channel configuration, and I think that just helps this graphics card along. Because, as I said, quite a few, you can actually run a lot of games over the recommended VRAM limit with no problems at all. So, with that being said, so there you go. We'll leave the sensors up. Let's fire up Grand Theft Auto 5, and I will show you exactly what I mean. Now, as I said before, if you wanted a no compromise 1080p ultra setting 60 frames a second laptop, this is not the machine for you, because at the end of the day, to get a machine like that, you're going to be looking at spending well over double what I paid for it, and then also sacrificing your portability as well, because generally to get a laptop with something like a 1070 in, which would be the sort of minimum kind of card for that kind of experience, you're looking at a 17-inch really thick gaming beast, which would then be pretty useless as a laptop just sitting around with it on your lap web browsing. So yeah, we're fired up Grand Theft Auto now, and I will show you my the settings I run Grand Theft Auto on, because this is one of the games where I do run it at a slightly lower resolution. I run it at 900p because I would rather have the very high textures turned on it. So if I show you the advanced graphics, there you go. Oh, not the advanced, sorry, the normal graphics. As you can see, my video memory is 2288 of 2048. So I am actually running over my video memory limit, my dedicated video memory limit. And that's where I think that other 4 gig cache comes in. So as you can see, I've got some pretty decent settings. I've got all the population density and work turned up, very high, high, very high. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff cranked right up. So with this, apart from the resolution being knocked down to 900p, I'm actually running at a far higher quality setting than, say, the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. Plus, when I play this, it's pinned at 60 frames a second most of the time, unless I'm literally blowing up everything on the screen at once. So, also, with regards to this stream, if you notice the game has gone really small, compared to what the desktop was on, it's because I've obviously set the game at 900p and OBS is not scaled it properly, so that's why it's shrunk a bit. But yeah, I'll show you what I mean about how running at 900p. As I said, it's very smooth at 900p. Very rarely drops below 60 frames a second. As I said, unless I'm blowing everything up on the screen. The only issue I had with GTA 5 on this laptop was odd. If I ran into like a multi-story car park, it would stutter a bit going into a multi-story car park. Don't know why, just multi-story car parks or going into buildings. However, Windows 10 game mode has actually solved that, because I've got the Creators Update beta on here. I'm able to shove things in game mode, and it actually seems to have sorted it out, and everything's even smoother. In fact, this game now, with game mode turned on, very, very rarely drops below 60 frames a second. So I've got the NVIDIA counter at the top corner. So if we look, there you go, 57, there you go. 60, still at 60, 59. But there we go. Everything's blowing up on the screen, and it is still lovely and smooth. And that's what I mean about just dropping the resolution down a bit. You know, it just helps out that little bit. Same with Doom as well, the latest Doom. I can play it at high settings, but I just have the resolution set to 900p for that slightly smoother experience. So there we go. If I exit this game now, I shall show you what I mean about the VRAM usage. So if we look, there you go, look, dedicated, and in fact, it barely touched the dynamic. It used 80, look, 92, about 80 to 90 meg of the dynamic RAM, and I believe that little extra 4 gigabytes just helps out, you know, for the fact that it's only got 2 gigs of dedicated VRAM. So again, I'll show you Doom fired up. That plays quite well, actually. I've got the demo for it here. I have done a previous video, but that runs at pretty much a solid 60 frames a second as well. High settings, no problems at all. Bear with it, Steam can be a wee bit slow sometimes, but I think that's just Steam rather than the laptop. There we go. So, just to load, there we go. But as you'll see, it's even at 900. The thing is, I can't really tell the difference between 900p and 1080p. You can tell the difference if you drop it all the way down to 720, because I don't know if the scaler is particularly great, but if you leave it on 900, it just works nicely. So here we go. I'll show you the settings I run Doom at. So if I go advanced, look, high, overall quality high, so everything is set to high. You know, all the stuff is turned on. And then if I now go back, and I'll show you, look, there you go, 900p. So, but now if I hit continue game, you'll see that this runs at a nice 60 frames a second. And these are obviously fairly modern games, what are played by quite a lot of people. So that's why I've chosen these games specifically in this video. But here we go. remember where I'm going now in here. But like, the quality is lovely. As I said, I can't tell the difference between 900 and 1080. So, I was at the right ball anyway, bear with me. Getting lost. But this looks and plays absolutely lovely. Oh, right stick, here we go. So here we go. So yeah, you're not going to get alt 1080p Ultra, but if you're willing to, you've got to go in with your expectations set right. It's a budget laptop. It's not, if you're going to spend thousands on a laptop, then yeah, expect that kind of performance. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is perfectly playable and actually really decent. As you can see, I'm able to waste these zombie, evil, weird dudes. No problems at all. And look, frames are just hovering high 50s into the 60s. So, do some goriness. There we go. But there. So, that is that. The fans under full load don't get too loud at all. And the fans, to be honest with you, on this are really impressive, to be honest with you. Because I thought they were out when I was playing Grand Theft Auto once. Oh no, they can go up to a whole new level. But yeah, realistically, under general gaming load, the hottest I've seen this thing get is CPU into about 77, 78. Now, bear in mind the CPU can go all the way up to 100 degrees before it starts to throttle and have problems. So yeah, so 77, 78 is nowhere near problem zone. And the GPU, the hottest I've seen that get is about 75 to 76. So all in all, I'm going to wrap this live stream review 1 month on general thoughts video up with just the overall thought of, yes, it's a good laptop. Can I recommend it? Yes, it's a very, very good laptop. As I said, just be careful that you might have to do a full reinstall of Windows. In fact, just reinstall Windows the minute you get it, activate your warranty, bin off Windows, reinstall a fresh copy direct from Microsoft, and then just let HP install, because it's so easy to do and it's going to stop you having problems further down the line. And as I said, don't let a dodgy driver put you off a decent laptop, because at the end of the day, this is a very good laptop, a very solid laptop for the money. And currently in the UK, the cheapest you're going to get is seventh gen Intel Core processors, and obviously 10th gen NVIDIA GTX graphics. So yeah, very good laptop. Yeah, but just beware, you might have to reinstall Windows straight away. That's the only thing I can say. But living with it after a month, yeah, very well done. Very decent laptop. I'm going to do probably some more of these videos. I'll probably do one after maybe 3 months, and then I'll probably do one after 6 months, and then a year, and then that way, you've got the whole gamut then of living with it. And chances are I'm going to upgrade it to 16 gigabytes of RAM at some point. So when I do that, I'll take some photos and I'll do a video showing the inside layout of the laptop. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.